We are live here at the Patch Turned Up studio. We're starting our Facebook Live video with Help Desk with Joe. With me today, as always, is Joe. This is show number 29 and episode 53 of our Patch Turned Up podcast and live videos. And we're going to get started here with our show. We are live.
Oop.
There we go. Making sure it all sounds good.
Well, now I was going to start a watch party.
Oh, okay. I'll let you start your watch party and I'll start.
Okay, there we go. We're good.
Good. Okay. Watch party happening. I like it. All right. We'll start the radio podcast. This is David. We're here with the Patch Turned Up studio in Spencer, West Virginia. You're listening to Help Desk with Joe McDonald, as always. This is episode 29 of our podcast series, Help Desk with Joe. And make sure you tune in for more podcasts, information, and music as we start our show. So, Help Desk with Joe. How's it going, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good for Thursday. It's about, I call it the fourth Monday of the week, but so far so good today. So maybe we're actually on a Thursday, not a fourth Monday.
Yeah, I agree. And a little change up today. We couldn't get a high school student in today, but we didn't want to delay your show, so it's you and I. And we got a busy show coming up. You got a lot of stuff going on. And you're going to do some cool news topics for the week. And then you also have a review. And I really like the reviews.
Yeah, this one's going to be nice. It's a product that's been out for a while, but since COVID hit, it's been really hard to find and get. So I'm kind of doing an up-to-date review. If you can look online, a lot of these reviews are 2 or 3 years old. But we're going to do an up-to-date review and kind of answer the questions as to why it's been so hard to find.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get started with your news show, or your news shows, with your news updates. And update number 1, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so the first one involves Sony and the PlayStation 5. Sony's releasing a new console later on this year, and I'm going to this is pure speculation on my part. I'm going to say it's probably going to be right around Christmas. Usually around Thanksgiving, Christmas is when they like to release that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Sony is anticipating the PlayStation 5 release, and they are currently taking reservations for existing PlayStation customers only. So if you're interested in getting your spot in line for the new PlayStation 5, you can sign up on their website, and they're taking pre-order reservations on a first-come, first-served basis for existing customers only that CNET found out through their sister site GameSpot on Wednesday. The selection is based on previous interest and PlayStation activities, and you'll know if you've been selected if you're not contacted via email, according to the PS5 pre-order frequently asked questions page. The console is expected to be released this year, but Sony has not yet said exactly when it'll happen or what the cost it'll be.
Now that's a weird marketing ploy, I think. I don't know. It's weird to me. Existing customers only. So you're not going to get new customers that might want to jump on board right off the bat. Does that seem weird to you, or is that just me?
Well, the video game industry is a little different than anything else, and I think usually when these new consoles come out, do you remember, Dave, years ago when the Wii came out, and I mean it was like almost fights in stores over?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah. I think they've learned over the years that if you cater to the existing customers first, then the new customers will follow. So, kind of reverse of everything else. All these other companies wants to bring in new customers, and then we'll deal with existing customers later. The video game industry goes, hey, we know that these people will fork out their money regardless, so let's take care of them first, and then everybody else will follow.
Well, and I mean, that's customer loyalty too, so that's kind of nice.
Right.
I just, man, it's weird because you always see companies that want to get new customers in the door because you kind of think the ones that are existing customers are already hooked. So they're going to stay with you. But okay, well, I mean, I'm sure they got enough money in it that they got marketing people that know all this and are taking care of it, and they're way smarter than me, so I will trust their judgment.
Yeah, I mean, they are a little different than what industry goes for. Like I said, industry goes for the new customers, but hats off to them for, customer loyalty actually still meaning something.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, so, okay.
So there's actually going to be 2 setups for this model. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One actually started doing this kind of like a public beta test. So this new PlayStation 5 is going to have 2 versions. They're going to have one standard version, which has the Blu-ray drive that you go buy the disc in the store and all that. And then they're going to have an all-digital edition where you don't buy a disc.
Everything's downloaded.
Everything's download, and typically, for the way market trends have been, it'll probably be a little cheaper to go that route.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what all the kids do now. They just download them.
Well, I know, except here in rural West Virginia.
Well, even Kale, he'll turn his on and let it download overnight.
Right. Now, does his still take can he go to Walmart and buy a disc?
Yeah, he can still buy. He's got the older version.
Okay.
But I know, a couple times I've asked him, the internet's on, and I'd go turn off, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm downloading, and because we have just a hotspot, so it takes forever, but he'll let it download all night to get a new download in.
Right.
But that's, and that's a big deal. Video games right now, with everybody being home with COVID and the kids being home and virtual learning, that's still a hot topic, and so I think that's going to be newsworthy for a while.
Exactly.
And as you said, rolling into Christmas, it's even going to be more pertinent. So.
Right.
Interesting to see how those video game manufacturers and stuff pan out and will play their marketing.
Yeah, and that's kind of going to slide us into our product review. Not yet, but...
Not yet, yeah. Don't jump the gun, Joe. I'm excited for it, but we got to get through the rest of the show first. So, okay, well, what do you got for news story number 2? And again, if you're interested in the PlayStation stuff, and that's a big topic for you, call Joe. He's up to speed on it.
Or check out the PlayStation 5 website, PlayStation.com, and get your reservation in line. Unfortunately, I have no pull with PlayStation to get my own front door access on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was a joke. Don't call Joe.
Now, shout out to Sony. If you do want to send a PS5 for us to review, I would be more than happy.
There you go. Now you're spinning it the right way.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, big video game news, so that'll make a lot of kids happy knowing that there's a new version come out, and it'll cause a lot of parents' frustration, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Although if you need a Christmas gift, that might be like, all right, work's done for me, I just got to order it.
Yeah, so. Well, and hope it comes in time.
Yeah, there you go. That's always the trick.
Of course, now that wouldn't be Christmas rush without it.
Yeah. Without some anxiety and panic, what's Christmas,
Exactly.
All right, well, news story number 2.
Okay, so Facebook launches a shop tab in its app just like Instagram. So Facebook is doubling down on its e-commerce business and attempting to make shopping a destination on its main app.
Hold on, time out.
Okay.
You can shop on Instagram?
I just found this out last week, but yes.
I have Instagram, but don't really use it that much.
Well, neither do I.
I follow a lot of college soccer teams, just because of my kids and,
right.
Kind of watching to see how colleges play out. But
right.
I did not know you could shop.
Yeah, I just found this out last week. I didn't know it either.
Wow. Okay, well... Okay, sorry to interrupt. I was just I've never heard of anybody going to Instagram to shop.
Well, I didn't either, but from what I read, it's for a lot of these small businesses and stuff where if you make T-shirts or stuff like that, you can take a picture of it to, one, help promote your product, and two, if somebody goes, well, hey, I'd like to buy that, instead of going away from Instagram and buying it from your website, Instagram goes, oh no, just stay here and buy it here for your convenience. So Instagram doesn't want you to leave their app because you may not come back for several hours.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. I've never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, and see, Facebook owns Instagram, so it kind of makes
Well, wait a minute. So they're going to be competing with themselves in a way.
Yeah,
well, maybe not. I mean, if they own both of them, what's the matter? Where they worry about it from?
Right.
Interesting. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So, a test in the U.S. yesterday, the company launched Facebook Shop, a tab within the main Facebook app where people can be able to find products to buy and then purchase them within the app. Sellers will be able to communicate with their customers through Facebook Messenger, Instagram Direct, and eventually WhatsApp too. Sellers will also be able to host live shopping events during which they will live stream and show off products that customers can buy directly through the stream on either Facebook or Instagram.
Wow. Okay.
That one was a big one for me because I know a lot of these smaller businesses, they always, if you scroll through Facebook in the evenings, a lot of them are doing some kind of live sales or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And usually you just have to type in want, and then you have to either PayPal their money or figure out how to get money later from them.
Yep.
But with this, being able to buy directly from the live stream, that makes it even easier for the seller's end.
Yep. Wow, that's pretty impressive. So big strides there on e-commerce.
Yeah.
And again, in my head, that's smart on their part because so many people are shopping for home. Why not capture some of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, and it kind of helps their bottom line of, we want you on our website as much as possible. Well, if I can be on Facebook,
yep,
plus do my shopping all at the same time, it's a win-win on Facebook's end.
Right, yeah, that makes it super easy. Okay. By golly, they're getting smarter and smarter and taking advantage of this whole COVID deal in ways that, people probably don't realize. Like, I didn't even think about it, but you're right. The more they can go to that platform where they offer sales, online shopping, the more they're going to get.
Yeah, I mean,
making it easy.
Yeah, when I read that last week about Instagram, because I was working on with a customer on a project, they wanted a website where they could sell the products online, and then one of the settings was, do you want to sell on Instagram? I thought, time out. What are we talking about? So I had to actually dig deeper into that, because I'm with you. I'm old school. You have a website for shopping. You have your Facebook and your Instagram for your social media presence to draw them into your website.
Yeah.
But
well, let me ask you, in your mind, then, is that going to end website sales, or is that going to put a hurt on it? You don't think?
No. If anything, it's going to help drive those website sales,
right?
Because from my standpoint, we have our website, aimdigitaltechnologies.com. On there, we have an online store.
Right. And
then we also sell on Amazon and eBay as well.
Yeah.
And the reason we do that, it was just kind of, instead of bringing everybody to this little, kernel here, if we cover the whole table, if we get people on eBay and Amazon, that will draw them into our website.
Right.
So it's just another marketing tool from a business standpoint that we could use to help promote our brand.
And that's coming from straight from a small business owner.
Right.
And your demographics and your market, so that's important to answer my question. You're just not guessing. For folks out there, straight from the horse's mouth, from a small business owner, your website's still viably important, along with the marketing tools of Instagram, Facebook, and so forth.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty neat stuff. All right, well, that's a big announcement out of Facebook. What do you got for news update number 3?
So now this one's really neat, and I'm excited for it, and I'm anxious to see how it works with us, quote-unquote, hillbillies.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Microsoft's new Transcribing Word feature is designed for students, reporters, and more. So Microsoft is releasing Transcribe for Microsoft Word.
Boy, that's a game changer.
Yes.
That is an absolute game changer. Now, I've been driving a little bit here this past week and using my voice to text, and it's terrible.
Yes.
Well, let me rephrase. I'm terrible using it, put it that way. So many mess ups on words and stuff. And usually I just say, all right, stupid voice to text, and send it anyway, and hoping the person on the other end
can translate.
Yeah, can translate what it's supposed to be, because it might make enough sense.
Right.
In the context of the conversation. But yeah, to Word, my goodness, that would be a huge game changer.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see. Now, this new feature is only available for the online version of Word through Microsoft 365 subscribers, and it's going to provide an easy way to automatically transcribe audio. Microsoft is supporting existing audio files, or even the ability to record conversations directly within Word for the web, and it'll automatically transcribe as you speak.
I'm thinking college students writing papers.
Right.
Oh, man.
Taking notes.
Yeah, no more. Well, I just mean writing a paper. You don't have to type anymore. You can sit there and just transcribe it straight over. That's a huge thing.
Well, that plus they're thinking of, you turn your laptop on or you turn your phone on and you record the professor speaking, and then you just plug the file into Word, and it'll just automatically transcribe. So now it's not going to do unlimited starting off.
Right.
For right now, it's going to support per month 200 megabytes of MP3, WAV, M4A, or MP4 files. Processing time will obviously vary considering how much audio you're uploading.
Right.
The transcription works by capturing audio from your PC, so you can use it for meetings, calls, YouTube videos, college classes, anything like that.
Yeah.
And Word will also capture your own audio through your PC's microphone. Microsoft is also targeting journalists who transcribe interviews as well as an option for this.
Oh, yeah.
And so Transcribe is launching initially for Word for the web, which plans to bring the same features to Word for iOS and Android apps later this year. As of right now, English is the only language that they're supporting, but more is yet to come.
Yeah, that'll change as they upgrade and make changes, yeah.
Right, so Microsoft is limiting right now the transcription to Microsoft 365 subscribers, which Cena and I are through our business. So we'll be able to use the web version.
Nice.
And actually try it out. I didn't know about this last night. I would have actually tried it out.
Well, that might be a good test run for next show or something.
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea. Yeah. We'll try that within the next week. So for right now, they're limiting you to 5 hours per month of uploaded audio, but there's no way to extend that for right now.
Right. Okay. Wow. Craziness.
But I'm anxious to see, like you said, what I found over the years is it does not, the hillbilly dialect, what I like to call it, it does not transcribe that very well.
Oh, hilljack speech.
Yeah. And that's what I've always found.
Although, it might help some folks with their grammar.
Yeah. What I always found that was funny, I used to work in the hospital in the IT department, and, we get these doctors in from overseas, and they would use these transcribing programs, and, you and I were sitting there and just barely understand what some of these doctors are saying.
Yeah. And
they just start talking normally, and it just starts picking up, no problem. And here we just start talking what we think's normal, and it just goes crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
So I found
that'll be an uphill battle, but
right.
They'll work fine. I mean, shoot, you got so much technology now. Surely they can work that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I found that the only way to make it work right is for it to understand hill talk is speak slowly and clearly, and that kind of lessens that. But usually, if I want text to speech, I want to talk normally. I don't want to slow down.
Yeah, and I try that, and it still messes up when I voice the text, and then I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, whatever. Yeah, this is crazy. But yeah, funny stuff. That's all right. That's good. So. That'll be, I'm just amazed. That's a game changer for college students, for people in the professional business that type a lot.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah, I'm
excited for it. I want it.
Well, I'm waiting for it to come to the desktop versions of the apps as well.
Yeah, there you go. Because, there's I got to type a lot of letters and stuff for grants.
Right.
The last grant we did, we applied for Work County, and my goodness, 28 pages of narrative that if I didn't have to sit there and type through, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, if you could transcribe it and it actually do it accurately. Now, that's the only big thing is, if you're like me, Dave, I have a very short attention span, so I'll just start talking, and then, it looks good enough, and I'll just move on to the next, and it's hard to tell what it might transcribe.
Yeah, that would be an issue, but I still think it's a lot easier to go back and fix stuff than it is to try to type it all from the beginning, because I make a lot of spelling errors anyway.
Right.
So, I got to comb through it all regardless.
Now, that's one thing that's going to be interesting. I'm wondering how it's going to do paragraphs, or if it's just going to be one long continuous.
No, I imagine it's like anything else. You just say return, or whatever, space, paragraph, whatever.
Okay.
Surely. I don't know. Somebody smarter than me worked that out already.
That'll be something I can test with.
Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, now to the exciting part. You got a product review.
Yes, I do.
Switch cameras here, and you can hold that up. There you go. Just hold it up above the light there, and you should be able to see it pretty easy. Yeah. So that is a Nintendo Switch?
Yes, that is the Nintendo Switch.
Okay. So how'd you wrestle this from Sadie?
I dropped her off to daycare this morning.
There you go. So she won't even notice it's gone.
Oh, no, she saw me carrying it out of the house. She said, Dad, what are you taking that for? I said, Dave and I have to use it for the show. But why?
Yeah, don't run down the battery, man.
Yeah. So that's her little mind's trying to figure out, why does Daddy need a video game?
And is it coming back home?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It's a little Mario Kart action there.
All right. Well, what are we talking about with that today?
Okay, so we're actually going to do a review. Like I said, it's been out for a few years, so this is nothing new. But since COVID hit, video game consoles have been really hard to come by, and the hardest one to get has been the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't do any of that, so I don't know. But how's that affect? What makes that review worthy, I guess?
Well,
is it that one in particular? Or is it like all video games? You just happen to have that one?
Well, this one's a little different compared to the regular Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and this is when we got that. That was learning curve for me.
Gotcha.
And David, you and I are old school gamers.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a word out at you. Game Boy.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All in one.
Really?
Yes. This is where the game changer comes in, because when we got it, I didn't read up on it.
Yeah.
It's Nintendo. You've known Nintendo forever.
Right.
So for these parents that aren't familiar with the Nintendo Switch, this is a all-in-one console, meaning the kids can use this in tablet mode, and it has a touch screen and all that, and has the controllers. You can actually slide the controllers off, and they can actually, the kids can actually play like Mario Kart against each other on this little tablet screen. Or it comes with a docking station, and you can actually plug it into the docking station and play the games right on your TV.
Man, that is amazing. I mean, they got great technology as it is, but it's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, this is.
I'm used to mirroring the screen of my phone,
right?
So I understand how that works. But like you said, all in one. So you carry it with you, and you come home, hook it up to your TV, and play it on your TV.
Yeah, you can literally pick right up where you left off. Where Xbox and PlayStation, they only had the consoles where you had to sit in the living room.
Believe me, we went on soccer trips for the weekend, and Cale brings his whole Xbox with him.
Yeah.
So how long has this been out? Yeah, how long has this been out?
About 3 years.
3 years. Okay. Huh.
Yeah, wouldn't this be much easier to tote around?
Oh man. So does it hold the same amount of space and games, or you got to have games to go with it, or how's that work?
And so we even have a nice little carrying case for it.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you: is it more digital, like you download the games on it?
No, you can actually still buy the little cartridges for it. Let me take this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull out one of the little cartridges.
So it still does like the Game Boy and has little games that you put in it.
Yeah. It looks almost like an SD card. It's about the same size of an SD card. Now they also make a Nintendo Switch Lite that's all digital, where you only do downloads. But for this version, you buy the actual cartridges.
Yeah, well, that's not bad.
Well, you can do cartridges or download.
Right. Huh.
So it does that. It comes with 32 gig of storage built in, which it sounds like a lot, but it's not.
I don't think that's a lot in video game world.
No, just because the biggest majority of it's the operating system, the updates, and all that.
Yep.
So definitely, if you're going to buy one, and if you're going to buy more than 3 and 4 games when you buy it, go ahead and buy a micro SD card. And it'll actually support up to a 2 terabyte micro SD card.
Wow.
Yes.
That's one of my pet peeves. Usually you get something, but they only take a smaller SD card, so you're kind of stuck.
Right.
I mean, you can get more space, and I can't remember. Last time we were talking about something, I mean, you're the technology guy, but I remember you saying, well, it'll only hold this much.
Right.
Which isn't a whole lot, but it gets you a little extra.
Right.
And I was like, that's kind of crazy. Why they're limited, but I see Nintendo has fixed that problem.
Right.
Because 2 terabytes a ton.
Exactly. And with it being a micro SD, it's much faster than a regular spin-up hard drive, which is great, too.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Now, the next thing is charging. And Dave, you and I, the biggest pet peeve that at least I have, and I guarantee you do too, is when you buy a piece of technology, 9 times out of 10 it has a proprietary charging connector.
Yeah.
USB-C.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So pretty common? Very common, actually.
Yes. So USB-C charger has a headphone jack, and just based off the runtime, Dave, roughly how long do you think that battery lasts?
I feel like that's a trick question, because nowadays they're getting a lot of battery time out of stuff. You got us a new laptop to use here at the patch office, and that thing's battery lasts forever.
Yeah.
Versus some of the old ones that last like 2 hours.
Right.
So I have no idea. I'm going to guess and say, I mean, the screen's, how big's the screen? Like 3 inches by 6 inches maybe?
Yeah, roughly.
If I based it off my phone, but that thing's a little bigger. I don't know, 8 hours?
4.5 to 9 hours, depending on how you're set up and what games you're playing.
How bright the screen is and all that. Okay, I mean, that's crazy good.
Yeah.
I mean, even 3 hours gets you a pretty long ways.
Oh,
especially playing video games. You'd be ready for a snack break in between there anyway.
Yeah, that gets you pretty far in Mario. So.
Now here's the real question. I got one important question for you. Who plays it more, you or Sadie?
Sadie.
Okay.
Now
I was just checking.
Now when she thinks about it, because she's the type where if you give her a video game or go outside, it's outside every time.
Oh yeah.
Now, but now there are mornings where she'll get up. Just as she gets up, she'll get it. She'll play Mario Kart for a little bit, and she'll put it down, and she's done for the day.
Right.
Which I'm not complaining a bit. I'm very thankful for that. But it's seen a lot more screen time with Sadie than it has me.
Yeah. Well, and you're working full time plus the extra hours and all that stuff, and stay pretty busy, so I'm sure there's not a lot of time for video games in your life.
Right.
Especially with a 4 or 5 year old. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But one of these days you can get back to it.
Right.
Well,
Right.
and the main point, I guess, is this makes it easy to get back to it.
Exactly.
Whether that's a good thing or not. Well, anyway, so question number 2: does Cena have you on like a screen time allotment?
No, because she'll know I'll spend the time to find an override.
That's the problem with being married to an IT guy.
Yeah.
There's a way around it.
Give me enough time, and there will be a turnaround.
Yeah. Okay.
So the charge time only takes about 3 hours if you run the battery completely dead, which isn't bad.
No, that's not bad. Shoot.
Well, and the thing of it is, you can plug it into the dock and still play on the TV while it's charging. So so you're not completely out.
Yep.
And then the controllers themselves have batteries in them as well, or have rechargeable batteries, and they just charge off the switch itself. Okay.
Let me switch camera. There we go.
Okay. So that both controllers on both sides are called Joy-Cons, and they actually charge from the tablet itself.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. So,
and the controllers themselves have about a 20-hour battery life.
Wow, that's a ton. Well, they don't do a whole lot, I guess, with
Right.
that screen. But so is this? You said this is about 3 years old. Are there newer versions?
Well, this past year, Nintendo released the Nintendo Lite, which is all digital.
Right.
And there was actually rumors started actually yesterday
Yeah.
of Nintendo releasing a Switch, possibly releasing a Switch Pro next year.
Okay.
So-
in time for Christmas, or next year, as in like
Probably
next year?
next year, as in 2021.
Okay. Yeah, because Christmas is a big deal.
Yeah, and the reason I was talking about it is since COVID hit, consoles and the Nintendo Switch in particular has been really hard to come by. And if you're a parent like me, yeah, I've been a gamer for years, but as I get older, I find myself not going down that path as much. So a lot of the stuff is new. So with the Nintendo Switch, it has been really hard to find, even harder than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And part of it is everybody's buying them, and the next part of it is it's the price. So just for this price? just for take a guess. Let's play prices right, Dave. So what do you think the price?
Man, I don't know, because I know that I haven't bought any of those. I don't even go in that aisle to see any video games, but I got to guess. I don't know. Being that versatile, it's going to have some perks. Nintendo, I don't know. 300 maybe 200.
300. You're right on. You're right. Well, you're right on the money on both. The Nintendo Switch Lite, which is all digital, starts at $199.
Okay.
And the Nintendo Switch itself, the version we're talking about, is $299.
Yep. I mean, that's blind luck too. I was just thinking like PlayStation's like $400 or $500 maybe.
Yes.
So this is probably a little cheaper just because you get less storage and all that good jazz.
Right.
Huh. $200-300. By golly.
Yeah, and that's been the real big selling point, plus just the versatility of everything.
Yeah, the versatility is worth a ton.
Yeah, that's what a lot of parents are getting it, and they love it because instead of the kid tying up the TV all day, hey, take that to your room, get out of here,
Or in the car.
Right,
Instead of having to sit there and play on their phone something crazy, they can play their actual game.
Right.
Huh. All right, cool. That's a pretty neat deal. I've never thought of those or seen anything about them, so I'm not a big video gamer, so it's not a big deal to me, but that is pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, it's different. That's what I like. The PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, don't get me wrong, great consoles, but you know me, Dave, I got to find something a little different. So.
Well, and that's a good niche for Nintendo to get in, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, Nintendo is always, synonymous with changing up everything and making the other consoles going,
right.
Oh, we need to do that.
Yeah,
The Wii
was a big deal. I remember that. And then the 360, or was that Xbox 360?
That was Xbox.
Okay, yeah, that was also a big deal.
Yeah, we had the little Switch, or had the little controller that you actually motion controlled and got out of your chair.
Yeah, I remember like Wii Bowling and stuff like that,
Yeah, then it was funny when I first got the Wii, I was standing up, I was going through all the motions, all that, and I showed Mom and Dad's like, now this is neat, look at all this technology, because, when I was a kid, they got us the original Nintendo, the NES, so you had the little controller. So it was funny. I was going through the motions of playing bowling and all that, and I showed him, here, try this. Dad goes, give me that controller. I said, okay, so I hand it to him. And he's sitting in the chair watching. He just takes his hand and goes bowling. He goes, I can do it sitting down. There's no, why is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but authenticity-wise.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah. He goes, why are you standing up? It's just like any other game, except you're moving now.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Got to ruin this big moment, man. You had your bowling form down. Did you put your bowling shoes on?
No, I didn't.
I was going to say, you and Cena wax a little bit of the floor there so you can get your complete form down and be like, all right, wait till I go back to the real lanes for bowling league after practicing up here at home.
Exactly.
Yeah. Neat stuff. Well, what kind of, do you want to do like a star rating? Joe's thumbs up, thumbs down?
I have actually a few pros and cons.
Oh, yeah, I forgot pros and cons. What's cons, man?
Okay, well, let's start with
pros.
Yeah, pros.
Okay.
Pros. The price. I mean, that's a biggie.
Yeah, $300 is.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a lot, but in the video game world, that's really cheap.
Yeah.
For a console. And another pro, just the options of TV or tablet mode or playing against each other on a little portable screen, that's a biggie for me. And just the ease of use, Nintendo has always been famous for quality products and ease of use, so that's been a big one. And with the ability to not only have physical games, but you can actually have an app store where not only can you buy digital copies of games, but they actually allow third parties to do just digital only copies of games. So you have a lot of these smaller independent developers actually been able to get their foot in the door to be able to create games for like the Switch and not have to actually spend the marketing money on buying an actual physical cartridge and all that.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's super versatile. That versatility is worth a ton.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right, I'll be interested to see your overall rating.
So,
not to pretense too much, but I'm expecting some in-depth dialogue here on this rating system. Okay, sorry.
Now, the cons for me were really hard to find. And Cena and I was sitting down last night, we was talking about it, and some of the cons she was throwing at, that was like, well, that's just the way the market works. She says, yeah, but I don't like it. I said, well, that's not Nintendo's fault. That's just the video game industry itself.
Right, yeah.
So one of the cons is micro SD card for expansion almost required right out of the box.
Yeah.
That's kind of
that's a given.
Yeah, it's kind of a nitpick on my part.
But still, you're going to load games on them, and for them not to think ahead.
Yeah, bumping that up a little bit. I mean, the $299 price point's a great starting point. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about that at all. But for an extra $50, I'd be willing to see 64 gig.
Yeah.
That way, that at least gets your feet in the water and kick the can a little further down the road before you have to go buy a.
Well, and what's a 2 terabyte mini SD cost roughly?
Probably a couple $100.
Oh my goodness.
Well, now wait a minute. Let me take that back.
Well, yeah.
Well, now that's been a while ago since I checked. The prices of that stuff's come down so cheap. So I would,
but still,
you could probably, for probably about $100, you could probably get a 2 terabyte.
That's still significant though. So now you're at 400.
Yeah. So you're right in Xbox, PlayStation realm.
Okay, but still versatility trumps that. All right.
Yeah.
Any other cons?
It's not quite as powerful as the PS4 or the Xbox One. Those consoles are set up for 4K gaming, and and the Switch isn't quite there, but it's Nintendo, so you kind of trade off.
Yeah.
Do you really need Mario in 4K? Of course you do, but you're willing to play Mario in 1080p and sacrifice a little higher quality because it's Mario.
Yeah. Well, that's with Mario Kart. You're right. You don't have to have all the detailed stuff that you need for like Fortnite and that they like and all that.
Right.
So interesting stuff. Okay.
And one of the last cons is some of the popular games are available on both Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but some of them just aren't available on the Nintendo Switch. So that's kind of a biggie for me, and I understand why they're doing it because
it's branding.
Yeah, it's branding, and some of them they do previous versions for the Switch, but then they release another version, and it's not available for the Switch, but it's available for literally everybody else but the Switch. Right. So I'm kind of torn on that one. That one's kind of a thorn in my side.
Yeah, and I got to think though that the Nintendo crowd's always been like the younger crowd versus the older teenage adult crowd.
Right.
So they have their niche there as well.
Right.
So kind of understand some of that.
Right.
Okay. Well, what kind of rating system you want to use today?
Okay, so based off of the 5-star rating, I had to give the Nintendo Switch a solid 4-star rating.
Nice. That's good. That's really good. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the cons were really hard to find, but as you and I know, Dave, in this job, that you got to find the good and bad in everything. Oh, yeah. So it's so it was hard to find any flaws in this setup.
And you're a technology guy, so you know what to look for, so that makes it nice.
Right. So that's why I said it was really hard for me last night to drum up any cons.
Cool. All right. Well, if anybody wants to, if anybody needs to get a hold of it, because you guys, A&M Digital Technology powers all our stuff, and you've been helping us out, get ready for the school year here, whatever it may be.
Yes.
In our virtual stuff, and getting all our sites, computers ready to go. You guys do a ton of business here in the Roane County community, and also for the regional area, the state area, and some other states as well.
Right.
And, so if somebody needs to get a hold of you, needs some of that computer help or IT help, or has any questions about anything we talked about today, how do they do that?
You give us a call at our office at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at AM Digital Tech for all that. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Help Desk with Joe and Dave. We're on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else you can find your favorite podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on that as well. And be sure to download and listen to the Patch Turned Up app. It's free on Google Play and iTunes, and you can actually listen to music and get some great information on there as well.
These shows are all in there, so yeah. Well, it sounds like you've said that a time or two. Almost like you've said that 29 times.
Something like that.
All right, well, this is Joe with Help Desk with Joe, and I'm David, and we're here in the Patch Studio, and you've been listening to show number 29, where Joe covered some topics and on Patch Turned Up in our podcast series. So this is episode 53 overall.
Wow.
And, so we're making some good moves there. So stay tuned in for more podcasts, music news, and updates from our Patch students, our Patch community. And as always, community and children first. And we'll be back with more Help Desk with Joe next week. So stay tuned in. All right, you've been listening to our live Facebook broadcast. Hopefully we covered some topics that appeal to you. And as always, here with me, Joe, and for our show, Help Desk with Joe. And we'll be back next week, so tune in for more events, more IT news, and get a hold of Joe and Cena here locally, A&M Digital Technologies, for any of your phone and technology needs. And we'll be back next week, so thanks for joining us.